Well, Mark, after a good victory, full-ish week of training, how's it all been?
Yeah, good. Much needed, a much needed win, definitely. But mood in the camp's quite good. We've been in training the last few days there and just ready to go again tomorrow.
It did feel like that result was coming, but it was hard fought, wasn't
Yeah.
it? They're a good side, aren't they?
Yeah, it's probably our one of our worst performances since the manager's come in. But ultimately it's been probably our best result. So it's just trying to get that balance where we can play well and win games at the minute. But it's results business, and thankfully we got that at the weekend.
And was it a chance for the new manager to sort of see a different side to you as players, having to defend for a lot of their second half?
Yeah, we had to work really hard in the second half, and I think I've seen someone say before it's about just trying to piece the two halves together at the minute. But like I say, our most important thing was trying to get the 3 points at the weekend, and thankfully we got them.
We've spoken a lot about the home form, haven't
Yeah.
we? So to get that home win, however hard fought
Yeah.
it was, that's important, isn't it?
Yeah, no, listen, the home form, that's where a lot of teams want to be winning their games, and then anything they pick up on the road is a bonus. But for me personally, I love playing at home. It's a lot more comfortable when you've got your own fans there, and hopefully we can continue that tomorrow.
You've been such a utility player
Yeah.
this season. Are you enjoying playing a little bit further forward?
Yeah, I'm not too sure how long I've played there now, but I went through the games this season. I think I've played everywhere other than striker in this season. So, like you say, a utility player. But for me, the team comes first. And hopefully, like I say, I can play a little bit higher up more often. But it's whatever the manager needs at the minute.
And when you get a victory against a side that's chasing the playoffs, how much confidence does that give you as a squad?
To be honest, it's a lot of teams in the league are very similar. We played the likes of Huddersfield and QPR in recent weeks, and ultimately it's almost as tough as playing the likes of Sunderland, and we've obviously got our win against Middlesbrough. So there's not much in the teams. So when you do play a playoff team or a so-called relegation team, there's not much in the games. It's little moments where you need a bit of quality and being just ruthless and clinical, and hopefully we can start taking more opportunities.
Particularly that middle part of the championship, it is really close, isn't it? And you could perhaps get closer to a team like Hull City on Friday. What are you expecting from them?
Tough game again, like I say. There's not a lot in the teams, whether it be a team in 21st or a team in 7th or 8th. There's very little in terms of the quality, and it's just about, like I said, just trying to capitalise on certain moments in game, and especially taking the lead, it helps massively and gives you something to hold on to. So no doubt a tough game tomorrow, but we should be expecting to try and go and get 3 points.
If you are going to look up the championship, it's all about consistency, isn't it?
Yeah.
So to have back-to-back home games, that must be a real positive.
No, definitely. I think, thinking back, we had a few away games back-to-back, and results didn't go our way. So hopefully we can turn that around a little bit this week and back our home win from last week up tomorrow.
And just lastly, how is it all going under the new manager? Do you feel like his ideas are being implemented now? Yeah,
well, it's an easy thing to say, after a win. If we'd lost at the weekend, everyone would say, well, what's happening, So, like I said, it's results business. Everyone wants to see a team winning games, and, just breeds confidence throughout the team. So, no, times are good under the manager. It's going to take a lot of time to try and get the things onto the pitch from what we see in meetings. But we're just trying to, speed that up at the minute and try and get as many wins as possible.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks. Thank you.
How would you, because you've kind of sort of alternated between two positions.
Yep.
You've kind of had that right-hand side as a wing back. Would that be fair? Is that how do you see it? Your positions?
Depends. For me, the sun's coming in. For me, it's been difficult to try and nail a position for like myself. In terms of saying, "Oh, this is where I'm playing every week." Because of certain reasons in terms of players maybe being missing, or the manager saying that maybe my game suits a different position on the pitch for that weekend or that midweek game. But I do like to play on the right hand side. and it's similar to last year, you know, being used a bit as a utility player in terms of when people are missing that. The manager believes in me, and you know he trusts me to play in a position that's basically an unknown to me. And this season, like I touched on there, I've played basically everywhere other than centre forward. So I must be doing all right.
Or in goal.
Yeah, well, I don't think anyone.
Have you ever played in goal?
No.
No, okay.
I don't count that as a position for an outfield player. Yeah.
But in terms of when you kind of going from the back, if we say from the back three, would you when it's in a back three, do you consider have a little bit more defensive responsibility than when it's in a back
most
four?
Definitely. Yeah, I think thinking back the Huddersfield game, we set up as wing backs, and I played obviously on the right hand side, but about 1 minute in the game, I forgot I was playing wing back. I was actually caught higher up the pitch. I was like, oh, I'm playing wing back today. So just getting focused and tuned into what's going on. And you know, the manager's full of ideas, so you won't be doing the same thing week in, week out. It'll be, you know, how we can exploit our opponent, you know, and try and get the result at the end of the game.
And how would you, I think we asked you this a little bit earlier in the season, but how do you think you've improved as the season has gone on?
I always say it's just in terms of confidence, you know, especially with the last manager and this manager. I feel like they support me quite a lot. They play me in a lot of the games, give me a lot of minutes, and you know that's all you can ask for as a player. So when I do say I'm playing out of position, the fact that you know they trust me to play there is a, you know, something that it's nice to see from them. But you know it's a difficult one. As much as you don't want to be playing here, there, and everywhere, you got to just do a job for the team sometimes, and well, we'll see what happens going forward.
Because if you don't mind me saying, having watched you, you do say this season compared to last season is kind of like a rough comparison, but you do seem a bit more comfortable in the two things that stand out: taking people on 1v1, and your final ball as well. Yeah, I just wondered, is that as much of a confidence thing, or is that something technically you've looked at?
No, not definitely not technically. It's, you know, something that I've had for a long time, where I've ever been in the middle of the pitch. When I was coming through my career, I was kind of a centre midfielder, and then when I went to Oxford, I was between centre midfield and right wing, and it's, you know, just more games playing in the wider areas. You're expected to either deliver the final ball or, you know, take someone on, and it just comes with experience of games, you know, and that's why sometimes I do get a little bit frustrated not always being in that position, because, you know, I want to be able to gain so much experience in that area that when I do stand someone up 1v1, that I trust myself to go past them, or when my final ball's maybe not so good, I want to play more often so I can finish it, you know. And it's, like I say, just experience and playing in a certain position, because no matter what I do on Friday, it'll help me going forward, you know, towards the end of the season and throughout my career as well. So
it's as much sort of habits in matches more so than training ground stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Just being in the position, you know, week after week, and it's minutes on the pitch. So like I say, when I was playing centre midfield, you don't really see, or you don't really get as many 1v1 opportunities. So, and I've probably been in England 4 or 5 years, and the first couple of years I was playing in the middle. So it's probably only been a few years where I've been playing out wide, and it's just getting used to it, like I say, and constantly being in a 1v1 or 2v2, and you know, always having to be, you're the front line of attack where it's on you to score goals or assists, so, or create chances.
In terms of the pre-match preparation, are you having sort of specific looks at now fullbacks and their habits? Is that, or you just kind of play it as you see?
No, it'll definitely be looking to see what my kind of opposition players' strengths and weaknesses are, and you know, just trying to work out what way I can beat him best, you know, because the manager's big on winning as many 1v1s as possible. You know, if 7 or 8 players can win their 1v1 on the day, you know, there's a higher probability of winning the game. So just about trying to identify a weakness and you know, exploiting it on the game day.
What have you guys learned? I appreciate, you know, they've tweaked things and they've developed as a team, but the whole game from August, what did you kind of learn from that game that was relevant?
Well, we just had a meeting today on it, and I think we spoke about the last game where maybe the first 20 minutes, I think we got our press wrong. We kind of tried to get after them and they kept playing through us, and it was attack after attack. And I can remember then the manager saying to us, right, sit a little bit deeper, let them have it, and then we'll play on the counter attack, which was a lot of our game last year, where we were considered a good counter attacking team. And then a lot of teams, I suppose, tried to figure us out by watching our stuff and maybe give us a space just in front and not allowed us to go in behind as much. So it's just about changing our game up now and, you know, being able to do both as well. If the team does want to press us, can we go in behind? And if they set off, it's about trying to, you know, create a space in front to ultimately try and score a goal.
How are you physically? Because you've been substituting in a couple of games. The manager indicated, obviously, because of the minutes you've had.
Yeah.
But also, which sort of touched on what you said earlier, you're so important to this team because what you can bring positionally, energy-wise, that there's an element of having to preserve you.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting you to like
no
at a manager or anything, but like, how do you kind of feel in yourself?
Completely fine. No, it's basically on the manager. You know, it's his decision at the end of the day. I mean, if you asked any player how they feel after 80 minutes of a game, they're all going to say they're tired. So it's just about trying to, like you say, preserve. And I looked at the fixture list the other day. I think there's 4 games from tomorrow in the next 10 days. So there's a lot of football. You know, I'm not going to be one of them players that's like, oh, why are you taking me off? You know, I understand that ultimately there's going to be 20 players in the squad. Everyone wants to play. Which I have been on the bench on occasions, I'm the one who's coming on. I don't want the player coming off to be sulking and be like, oh, why are you bringing me off? Because at the end of the day, we need to be in it together. So whatever the manager thinks, if he thinks, yeah, take him off, last 20, whatever, and try and get him right for the next game, or if he doesn't see me playing the next game, whatever it may be, it's, you know, it's on him. And I trust him with his decisions. There's times where I've kind of been happy enough to come off in the last 10 or so minutes. But that's just game dependent, you know. And we'll see what happens tomorrow.